I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, April the 30th, brought to you in part by Pics, the revolutionary product that's scientifically proven. Dr. Rodrigo is busy right now trying to ensure that he's going to be able to meet the fall demand. A lot of people are using this product. A lot of people swear by it. It's working for a lot of people. It's too cheap not to try, guys. On the website, fairpiece.com, there's many testimonials by some pretty big outfits that are having a lot of luck with it. There was one doctor from Texas A&M that said across all the studies of use, that typically they saw 15 to 20% increase in average daily gain post-weaning whenever Fairpiece was used at weaning. So evidently they're getting some prolonged benefit out of that. But check it out, guys. Go to fairpiece.com. Also, Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma, about 3,000 head again this week. Going to have a good run. Going to have a lot of loads. Probably 1,500 head of yearlings sold in load lots, guys. They're going to have 400 to 500 head of calves, mostly on the lighter side. Biggest part of them will be weaned. Like I said, on the yearling deal, about 1,000 big yearling steers and heifers, and then probably another 1,000 or 1,200 grazing yearlings, lighter weight turnout type kind of yearlings. I know everybody's looking for those. Got a couple of big consignments of those, nearly 200 head apiece of lightweight, hard yearling stockers there, guys. But not going to have too many cows, they're not thinking. And now, of course, you know the cow sales back on Tuesday here through the summer. But testing beef and Punchy Pics, guys. It's the last day of the month for the feeder flash. Going to give the Punchy Pic winners. But first, let's talk about the testing of beef instead of chicken. Now, this is avian flu, bird flu. It has devastated the chicken industry. Of course, if they get it into a chicken herd or flock, I guess what you call those, I mean, mostly they all die. They don't last very long, and then complete populations of them are euthanized. But you don't hear of them testing the chicken meat. They said they found fragments in some of the milk, but then they've went through the pasteurization, and it kills it all, like what we knew that it would. And then we still haven't found it in a beef cow at all yet. But some of these dairy cows, they are now worried that maybe it might be showing up in the beef. So they're testing the beef at different levels, even the retail level, in states that have had outbreaks of the bird flu in some dairy cows. I would not be surprised at all if they didn't find some measure of it. I don't know how many in parts per million it would be. And then if it's cooked, it's not going to show up anymore. So we don't encourage anybody to eat raw meat, and just like you don't encourage people to drink unpasteurized milk. But all this stuff takes a toll. You know, we never see it bothering other meats or other proteins, but it just takes a toll on the cattle market. Of course, the board didn't fall out of bed too bad. It was down for the most part on Monday, but it was up a lot last week, so they probably had some to give back. But it's just very frustrating. You know, we don't hear anything about it in pork. Well, you know, commercial hogs never see the light of day. You know, it scared the hell out of them if they saw a bird go by, because they don't see anything like that. We raise cattle out in the open spaces, and you run into things like that. But it's kind of frustrating. We really haven't seen too much down on the demand, other than the small country of Colombia has said that they will not take American beef anymore, which I probably eat more than they do, or more than they import from us every year. Excuse me. I did see that we were wondering about some of the rules on the new travel restrictions for dairy cow. The travel restrictions for dairy cattle is just for lactating cattle only. Just fresh cattle, dairy cattle. So any dry cows, any heifers, things like that, apparently there's no travel restrictions on them. And even lactating cows, if they're going to market, from what I've seen, they can go to an auction market for slaughter only. So that's good. We encourage people to take their out cows to an auction market to get competitive bidding. And I guarantee you that slaughter bulls wouldn't be bringing up to and over $2 a pound, and slaughter cows wouldn't be bringing $1.50 and higher in some places without competitive bidding at the auction markets. But that's kind of what's going on as we start the week here. Markets are still pretty good all around. Like I said, the board was down some. We had kind of a promising fat cattle trade last week. I'll tell you all about that. But the Punchy Pick of the Month contest, let's get the winners for that. First we have the Kids Corral, and that's just for bragging rights, guys, but I'll give you the top 3 picks we got to go in the Kids Corral. The first one come to us from Ron Boyer from Minneapolis, Kansas. I assume it's his son, Jake, maybe his grandson, but Jake appears to be pretty handy, and he's just killing time after they gathered some double stock steers there and off the Flint Hills, and he's probably thinking, you know, I bet I could find more girls if I can learn to do some of these fancy tricks on this horse rather than some other things. But that was pretty cool. Kids Corral pick there. Second place is Amber Griffin from the Pioneer Ranch. She sent in a picture of 10-year-old Hannah, or some like to call her Mustang, and she is absolutely getting her done there. She likes to help with the processing of the new calves that are coming in, that they're getting ready for grass. She's good with the branding. She's all about that. She helps out with all phases of the processing there. She's 6th generation Flint Hills cowgirl there in Chase County, Kansas, guys. But the winner of the Kids Corral pick goes to Caitlin Cox, and this is textbook front leg holding there at the spring branding. And I tell you what, that look on her face, and the calf knows she's got the best of them there, and they're getting stuff done. And I thought those were pretty good Kids Corral picks. Now for the Punchy Pick of the Month, of course the grand prize winner wins all the swag. They get the cool stuff from Beaver Feed Company, the cool stuff from Beaver County Stockyards, and get the whole case of Fair Piece, which is a big deal. Everybody's after that. But it's a cool contest here, and we enjoy getting these pictures. But third place in the Punchy Pick of the Month contest goes to Tammy and Rusty Addison from Lipan, Texas. I know right where that's at, right on I-20 there, just across the interstate from Santo, Texas, where my buddy Ellison Carter lives there. But when the neighbor's longhorn gets into your heifers, you do not waste time. You don't run and get a horse. You don't run and get help. You take care of business. And I think the look on this longhorn's face kind of says it all, knowing damn well he don't belong in there with them black heifers. And it was a pretty punchy pick, I thought, the way they had it tied up to the grill guard there. But second place in the Punchy Pick this month goes to Bobby Lee Hanks. And Bobby Lee has a podcast called Talk Dirty to Me, or called Talk Dirt to Me. I guess it's a play on words there. I was on that podcast not too long ago, and we had a good visit there. But he's there with his brother Drew, and they've got this bred heifer here, and she's wild. And they've got her dallied up to a thorn tree. And of course they were pretty sure she had a dead calf in her, and sure enough she did. They got the dead calf pulled out of her, which needs to be done or she will die. And and they were visiting about that little wild heifer there, and Bobby Lee's dad said that he thinks maybe she started dating a little bit early in life. Was what her main problem was there. But congratulations to Bobby Lee for his second place Punchy Pick of the Month. Now, the grand prize winner of the Punchy Pick of the Month contest gets all the swag, gets the whole case of Fair Piece, is Jay Unruh, gets first place there, and he says, who needs a gun when you got a rope? Now, you and I have all heard stories about people that's roped a coyote. My dad had a story about roping a coyote, but once he got him roped, he didn't know what to do with him. He wasn't bold enough to go down the rope after him, and he ended up just cutting the rope. And I think that's what a lot of guys do if they do get them roped. But the 17-year-old son, Noah, roped this coyote, and I assume it's down in the southeast. They didn't give us a location, but they was checking some calves on ryegrass, so got to be somewhere in the southeast. He roped this coyote on the first loop, and then he had some help. That's the secret, getting some help, getting another rope on it, and then stretching that coyote out. That makes all the difference in the world. But congratulations to Jay Unruh there for the Punchy Pick of the Month contest winner. Let's talk about your board to open the week. April live cattle futures are up 72 cents at 185.40. June down 142 at 177.15, and then all your back months were down, not all terrible, but down 30 cents to down $1.10. May feeder cattle were down 67 cents at 248.02. August was down 92 cents at 259.62, and your back months on feeder cattle down 35 to down 92 cents. May corn down 1/4 cent a bushel at 439. Beans for May down 4.5 cents at 11.56 and 1/4 cent a bushel. Kansas City hard red winter wheat continues to be volatile, up 16 3/4 cents at 660.5. Your weighted average on last week's negotiated fed cattle trade out of your 5-area feeding region, total head count of 75,100 head. Not bad for the way things are right now. That compares with 56,700 the previous week, 70,800 the same week a year ago. Live sales, fat steers and heifers in your 5-area feeding region range from 180 to 187. That's steady to $3 higher. Weighted average on live steers 184.15. That was up $1.49, so a good gain there. And all this done by the Northern Plains. Southern Plains traded almost all steady at 182. Dress sales from 290 to 303. That was $1 to $9 higher on the spread. Your weighted average on dress steers was 294.39, up 204 compared to the previous week. Now, as a whole, the Northern Plains sold steady to $2 higher, from 184 to 186 for the most part. Dress sales were $1 to $3 higher, from 294 to 295 mostly. Southern Plains just steady at 182, trading on Wednesday on a down market there, kind of it's a scare trade there, and that holds things up when you're trying to gain market position, guys. Nationwide, we sold 92,500 head negotiated. That's not bad. I'd rather have 100, but 92.5 is not terrible. That compares to 67,900 the previous week, 83,600 the same week a year ago. Of the 92,500, about 26% of those, or 24,000 of them, were for the 2 to 4 week delivery, so they're getting a little bit more aggressive there. Negotiated grid sales last week totaled 40,300 head. Forward contracting is coming up just a little bit, about 25,000 head last week. And formula sales, non-negotiated, 249,600 head. Of the 4 out of 5 feeding regions that we get information from, Iowa sold 23,700 negotiated last week. Nebraska sold 28,100. That's a pretty good clip for them. Kansas 13,600 head for them. And Texas sold 9,800 head negotiated cash last week. Box beef cutout values to start the week up are a little bit higher. Choice cuts are up 39 cents at 297.53. Selects are up 149 at 290.21. Your slaughter to start the week was 113,000 with one major plant dark. That was exactly the same as a week ago when they had a cow plant that was dark. And it was 9,000 less than the same week a year ago. Let's talk about your feeder cattle markets. Your real-time index on DVAuction Late in the day on Monday, sitting at 246.77 based on an 800-pound cash auction steer. That's down 17 cents from the end of last week. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index jumped up quite a bit. 247.18 was the latest there. Do not forget that Western Trail sale of 11,000 of those graze out yearlings, guys, coming out of North Texas. They're going to start scattering them starting on Wednesday. They're going to have 1,100 of them in Cherokee, Oklahoma at Cherokee Livestock Sales. So be sure and check that out, guys. And then every day for about 10 days, there's going to have cattle scattered out in big bunches of them at sales all over the West. Be sure and check those out. Talk about your big sales on Monday. Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City had 5,900 head. Your trend was kind of opposite on the steers and the heifers. Your heavy steers weighing over 8 sold steady to $2 higher. Light steers weighing under 8 were $3 to $6 higher. Heavy heifers weighing over 8 were $3 to $6 higher. And the light heifers weighing under 8 were steady to $3 higher. So almost exactly opposite with steers and heifers there, but everything was higher and it was a good market. I thought a kind of a stick-out deal from National Livestock Commission was 70 steers weighed 864 and bring 245. How about Joplin Regional Stockyards in Carthage, Missouri? They had 5,600 head for their sale, and it was a whopper too. Steers were $2 to $5 higher, spots as much as 13 on the stockers. Heifers were kind of mixed, 2 lower to $4 higher. Joplin was your National BeefWire stick-out sale of the day. Look at this automated market report from Joplin Regional Stockyards. You see several really good tested weights. How about 332 head of 4-weight steer calves, average 454 at 328.65. 531 head of 5-weight steers, average 546 at 297.25 on the average. 445 head of 6-weight steers, average 640 pounds at 278.29. There were 350 head of the 7-weight steers that averaged 747 and a weighted average price of 256.58. And 874 head of 8-weight steers averaged 845 pounds. The weighted average price of $237.85. Look at some heifer weights. How about 487 head of 5-weight heifers, average 545 at 270.44. 425 head of 6-weight heifers, average 655 at 243.86. 716 head of 7-weight heifers, average 757 at 230.42. And 410 head of 8-weight heifers, Joplin Regional Stockyards, average weight 842 pounds, weighted average price $212.32 on those heifers. Good sale in Joplin. How about some stick-out sales from around? How about Kingdom City, Missouri? Callaway Livestock Center. My buddy Jack Harrison owns and operates that sale barn there, and it's a good one. They sell 92 steers, weighed 578, and bring 324 in central Missouri. Thought that was pretty impressive. How about Tri-State Livestock Auction in McCook, Nebraska? They sell 64 steers, weighed 861 at 254. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Monday, and your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, comes out of Russell Livestock Market in Russell, Iowa. They're a DVAuction broadcaster and do an excellent job. They sell 69 steers, weigh 798, right at 800 pounds, bring 264. That's $17 over your CME cash feeder cattle index, guys. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.